We all do it, right? We look at our dogs, we bury our face in their fur, and we say, I love you, over and over again. But have you ever stopped and wondered, do they actually get it? What if I told you there's a way to say it, not in our language, but in theirs? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to bridge that communication gap and make sure your best friend really, truly feels the love. Yeah, it's that little question that kind of gnaws at you, doesn't it? You're giving them all the belly rubs, the best treats, you're saying the words, but does it land? Do they really understand the depth of what you're feeling? The honest truth is, our very human ways of showing affection, well, they don't always translate into dog.
Okay, let's take a perfect example, the hug. For us humans, it's like the gold standard of affection, right? A big, warm hug fixes everything. But for a dog, think about it from their perspective. Suddenly, they're wrapped up tight, they can't move freely. For a lot of them, that doesn't feel like love. It feels like being trapped or restrained. And just like that, our best intentions can get completely lost in translation.
And that right there, that's the heart of the problem. We can call it the human-dog disconnect. It's like we're speaking two totally different languages, and it's no wonder our signals get crossed all the time. Here's the thing. Our dogs are communicating with us constantly. I mean, every little ear twitch, every tail wag, even a quick lick of the lips, that's them talking. The breakdown happens when when we're not really listening. And can you imagine how frustrating that must be for them? Kind of like talking to a brick wall. But hey, don't worry, we're going to fix that, starting right now. All right, so enough about the problem. Let's get to the good stuff, the solution. We're going to build you what I'm calling the ultimate communication toolkit. These are real, practical things you can start doing today to become fluent in dog. So the foundation of this whole thing comes down to 4 key pillars you see right here. Your body language, your facial expressions, eye contact, and even your vocal tone. See, it's not about the words, I love you. It's about how your entire being is saying it. Okay, get this. Your face, it's like a giant billboard for your dog. They are absolute masters at reading our expressions. And here's a wild little tip from research. Just raising your eyebrows, and apparently especially the left one, can trigger this little spark of recognition in their brain. It's a microsignal that you're happy and open. Try it next time you greet them. And it goes beyond just facial movements. Eye contact is huge. Now, I'm not talking about a weird, intense stare down, okay? That's just threatening in the dog world. I'm talking about that soft, gentle, loving gaze. When you and your dog just lock eyes in that calm, happy way, something incredible happens inside both of you. You both get this rush of oxytocin. That's the love hormone, the same stuff that bonds a mother and her newborn baby. Just how powerful are we talking? Well, a study out of Azabu University in Japan is going to blow your mind. They found that after just a few minutes of that mutual gaze, a human's oxytocin levels can shoot up by, wait for it, 300%. 300! That's not just a feeling. That is a literal chemical bond you are creating with your eyes. How cool is that? All right, let's talk about another one of their deep instincts, something called social grooming. If you think about wolves or wild dogs in a pack, they're always reinforcing their bonds through physical care. Gentle licking, little nibbles. It's this primal behavior that basically says, you're safe, you're part of my family, I've got your back. So how do we tap into that? Well, it's not about that mindless, one-handed scratch you give them while you're scrolling on your phone. No, this is about mindful touch. Think slow, gentle brushing, or really purposeful petting right on their sweet spot, like behind the ears or on their chest. The key is giving them your undivided attention. That's what tells them, right now, you are the most important thing in my world. And you know, sometimes the biggest act of love is just acceptance. It's about letting them be a dog. You know that walk where they have to stop and sniff every single blade of grass for what feels like an eternity? Yeah, that's not them being difficult. That's them reading the morning news. It's their social media feed. When you give them that time to just sniff and explore, you're saying, I see you, I respect you for being a dog, and I love you for it. Playtime. It's another whole language, right? But the secret is to play on their terms. Check this out. Different games mean different things. A good game of tug isn't just yanking on a rope. For a dog who loves to grab, it's a great way to teach bite control. A game of chase? Perfect for energetic dogs, and it secretly builds their recall skills. Even a bit of gentle wrestling can be a huge confidence booster. When you figure out their favorite way to play, and yeah, let them win once in a while, you're screaming, your happiness is my top priority.
Okay, so we've been talking a lot about how we can speak their language. But what about the other side of the conversation? How do we know they got the message? Let's flip the script and look at how they say, I love you back to us. Here are 4 huge signs you can look for. Think of it as your Am I Doing It Right checklist. First, that's soft mutual gaze, we already talked about. Second, when they start sharing their valuables. Yep, we're talking toys. Third, you know that full body lean where they just press all their weight into you for support? That's pure trust. And fourth, look for a relaxed, soft mouth, maybe even slightly open. That's the face of a dog who is completely, totally at ease with you. But let's double click on the toy thing for a second, because it's so important. When your dog trots over and drops their slobbery, favorite, falling apart stuffed animal in your lap, that is so much more than, hey, let's play. They are literally handing you their most prized possession in the entire world. That is their treasure. And they're giving it to you. That is a massive, massive sign of trust and affection. So you know how to speak their language, and you know how to read their signals back. The last piece of the puzzle, and maybe the most important, is making this a habit every single day, because that's how you go from just communicating to building a truly unbreakable bond. First up, let's talk about what to stop doing. These are the trust killers. We already know about the forced hugs, but this also includes things like punishment-based training, which all it does is create fear, not understanding. Or using their name only when you're mad at them, you're basically poisoning their own name. And inconsistent rules, that's a big one. It just puts them in a constant state of anxiety because they never know what the rules are from one day to the next. Okay, so now for the what to start list. This is all about building small, powerful, positive rituals into your day. That simple, happy good morning you give them, it tells them they matter from the second the day starts. Predictable meal times, predictable walks, that creates a safe, reliable world for them. And setting aside even 5 minutes for dedicated, no phones allowed playtime, that tells them they are your number one priority. These little things, they are the bedrock of trust. Because at the end of the day, it all boils down to this. For a dog, predictability is security. It's that simple. When they know what's coming next, their stress just melts away. So no, a routine isn't boring to them. It's a constant silent message that says, I've got you. You can count on me. I'm here for you. And that is a powerful, powerful way to say I love you. So as we wrap this up, I've got one final question for you, just for you to think about. After hearing all this, what's one small thing, one tiny change you're going to make today to speak your dog's language? Are you going to try that eyebrow raise when you get home? Or maybe just commit to 5 minutes of totally focused, mindful petting tonight? Whatever it is, the path to that even deeper bond, well, it starts right now.